Hey guys, Ivan here at ivanmana.com, and in this video I want to show you how to create a 52.68% conversion rate landing page in ClickFunnels. If you already have ClickFunnels, that is awesome. You can follow along with me and see just how easy it is to build out a landing page. And if you don't, then this will hopefully give you an idea of whether ClickFunnels is right for you and if you like their drag and drop editor and their overall interface. I also do offer you a 14-day free trial with my affiliate link below, so check that out in the description if you don't have ClickFunnels and want to try it out. That out of the way, let's get straight into it and let's build out our page. So this is here our ClickFunnels dashboard. We will be building out a 53 almost % conversion rate landing page based on this template here, based on thousands of visits. We already created a page in Unbounce right here. Feel free to check that video out if you want to know how to build out landing pages with Unbounce and Thrive Themes. I have videos on that. I'll put it in the description. But we're going to be doing something that looks just like this. So let's get into it. From your ClickFunnels dashboard, click on Add New over here. So we're going to click that. You can use Cookbook, which they give you some pre-designed templates and all that. We're going to start completely from scratch. We're going to build out just the landing page. If you want to see how to do a sales funnel, I do have a separate video on that. In this video, we will just be making a quick landing page, nothing fancy. So let's just select collect emails. Let's enter a name here. Let's say, what is this one? This is promote Google, affiliate products on Google. So let's say affiliate products on Google. We can select a tag. So if we want to, organize our funnels, like this is, these are the groups that I have. We can make another one called YouTube, for example, and select that. And let's say build a funnel. And now ClickFunnels is going to kind of create all the steps in the funnel, which is the email landing page and the thank you page. We're just going to focus on the landing page here, and we're going to assume that we're going to be taking people straight from the landing page to the affiliate offer. Okay, so we're going to scroll down and see if we can find a blank template. And I'm not seeing here, opt-in blank. So we're going to select this. It's a 100% blank template. And we're going to build everything from scratch. You can select a template, but then that makes this video useless because then you just change a button or two, okay? So we're going to go the hard way just so you can learn where all the buttons are, where to click, where the interface is, all that stuff. So now our landing page is created. This is the URL for the landing page. So if we go here, if we click on this button, there you go. This is our landing page. But now we have to actually design it, make it look nice. So let's click on Edit Page over here, and we're going to be dragging and dropping elements to make this happen. Okay, so a page that looks like that. So the first thing we're going to do is we have to add this logo at the top. So we have here this green kind of box here, and that's a section. Okay, so we're going to be adding sections for each of those different blocks. So like this is one block, this is another block, and so on. So for this one, let's delete all this, and we're just going to have a little logo here, right? So let's delete that. And because we want the logo to be on the left-hand side, what we're going to do is select this option here. And we're going to select, for example, either 4 or 3 columns. That way we can add the logo all the way on the left. So let's select 4. And we're going to just add our logo here. So let's do that first. We're going to click on Add New Element. We're going to click Image. And let's go into Demo Image. And we might have to upload a logo. I don't think I have one here. So I'm going to quickly do that. I'll click Upload. I'm going to select my file, and I'm going to simply add my logo. OK, so I went ahead and found my logo. I added it through my files, and then here it is. OK, so we're just going to select Add Image, and then boom, we have it added here. Now, this might be a bit too big or a bit too small for you. So what you can do is you can adjust the width and the height right over here. Normally, what I do is I just adjust the width, and it automatically adjusts everything else. So if we do 50 here, for example, it's super tiny. If we make it 150, it's a little bit bigger. Maybe that's too big. Maybe 100. So that looks OK. Let's look at the size here. It's about right. So maybe 125, and we should leave it. OK. So that looks good. Now, the only thing here is that this section looks a bit there's too much padding, right, on the top and bottom. Like there's too much space. So what we can do here is we can select that green, select the green section, click on the little gear icon, and then we can remove this space here at the top. So we're just going to drag that. We can also adjust the width, so we can make it super narrow like that. And the more stuff you have in there, the more narrow it looks. Or we can expand it and make it, just make the width a bit more expanding. We can also change the width right over here for the section, so we can make it go full page, which is, you know, the highest width. We can make it go small, you know, extra small, and then it's gonna kind of go like that. Like, I don't know if you know what I mean. Basically, just adjust the width, right? If you've ever seen some pages where you see a lot of blank space on the sides and they just have like this little block going through the middle, that's what this is going to look like. So we can do full page, or I think wide is generally fine. It's okay to have space on the sides there. No worries. So that's pretty much it for this section. So now what we can do is we can select this green block and we can click on Add New Section, and we're going to go through the next part now, which is adding this. We can also click on Add Sections right here. So we have the sections, we have the rows, the columns, and the specific elements. So we can click on Add Section. We can select whichever one. I think we did wide section, so we're going to go ahead and drag it here. And keep in mind, you can always change this, right? So if all of a sudden I decided I don't want to make it wide, we just go in there and we change that. So now that we've done that, let's go ahead and add this thing here. So for simplicity's sake, what I'm going to do is just take this, I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to copy this text all the way in here. So we have to add a text element. In order to add a text element, we have to add a row. So we're going to click this button here that just says Add Row. Makes it very easy for you. Click on Add Column, go to Add New Row, and we're going to select either headline or subheadline. Either way is fine. The only difference is headline is automatically bigger, bolder, you know, whatever. So we'll just select headline here. I'm going to double click that, and I'm going to copy the text that I'm going to paste the text that I copied, or you can just type it out. Here I'm typing it out, okay? But in our case, to save time and because hopefully that gets the right idea, we're going to do that. Okay, now that looks pretty good. We might want to make it a bit narrower, and we might want to bold only that part in the middle, right? So what we have to do first, let's quickly select that. We're going to click on this gear icon for that specific element, and we're going to let's see. Oh, sorry, no, not here. We're going to select that, and we're going to unbold it right here. And then what we will do is we will bold only the specific part. So promote affiliate products on Google Ads. So we're just going to do that. Promote affiliate products on Google Ads, and we're going to bold that. And then if you want to change the color of your bold, you click that, and then this is where you change the color of the bold and the text color and the font size. Okay. So that looks about right, but we decided that this was a bit too wide. So what we could do is we can, remember, like I said, we could reduce either the width over here or over here. I'd suggest doing it here first. So right there, we could do something like this. And this now looks pretty much exactly the same as this. The only difference is, I think, the size of the text. And let me quickly take a look and see what the size of the text is here. I believe it's 36. Yeah. So we're going to come back here. Let's select all this. We're gonna you actually don't have to highlight it. You can just click that little gear icon, and we'll type it here 36, or we'll just drag and drop. Either way is fine. You can select a font right over here. In our case, it's Open Sans, so you know we don't have to do much. But here's all the fonts. Then you have all the different fonts here and all that good stuff. We like Open Sans, so we're gonna keep it at that. And it looks like this might be a bit too narrow, so let's go ahead and just quickly change that up a little bit. Make it, oops, not more narrow, like that. That looks about right. We can add underlines to, you know, disapprovals and high conversion rates. So we're going to select this word, and we're going to underline it. And high conversion rates, we're going to have to select that again. And there you go. Now we do have to add a background image here, right? So we can do that after. Let me quickly add another section here as well. Or no, not full width. We wanted a wide section. I'm just going to add a section just so we know kind of what our boundaries are. What do we have before and after? So in this case, you know, here we have this section. The next thing we have to do is let's add another element. Now we could add another entirely different row, and adding a different row will allow us to adjust the height and width of that specific row. So actually, it might be even better to just add a new row entirely. So we'll add one new row here. We can make the width the same as that one. So the width here that we made was 75. So we can do the same thing here. We can either drag and drop, or we can just type in manually 75. Either way is fine. Let's add a text element here. We can add paragraph, which is just basic text here. And let's select this. We're going to copy it, and we're going to paste it here. Okay, we're going to remove that. Now the size text, is a bit bigger here, so let's quickly see what that size font is. We're going to try to mimic it exactly as we see it here. So it's 18. Let's select this again, and we can just drag it to 18. There you go. That looks about right. Okay, we're getting there. So now we have to add the actual opt-in form. So we can add a new row, or we can add a new element underneath it. Either way is fine. Adding a row gives you a little more customizability in case something happens and you want to make some changes. Adding a row just allows you to have more customization options. So we're going to add another column here. Now we could have added 2 columns, right? Issue with ClickFunnels is that they give you blocks. So if we add 2 columns, the blocks are going to be very even. So over here, what we have here is we have an arrow kind of on the side, and then we have the text, the opt-in, smack dab in the middle. You can't really do that with ClickFunnels. So what we're going to have to do is either add 2 blocks and make it uneven, or we just skip the button and just do the form. And I'm leaning towards the second option because it's not going to look too good. And that's one of the benefits with ClickFunnels, is that you can, everything is easy, everything is set in blocks. You don't have to even everything out manually. But on the other hand, you don't have as much control, okay? So we're just going to add this element here. We're going to go down and see if we can find the button, the input form right here. And then we're going to add a button, okay? So we can add another form. What we can do is we can clone this one. And we can set this to be the email one and the first one to be the name one. And then let's add a new element. And here we can add a button. Okay, so we have everything we need here. And that should be good for the form. All right, so let's now play around and make all this look good. So we're going to have to play around with the padding and the margins. So over here, the top margin, we're going to move up a little bit. And again, we can go and select this and make the width the same as the rows above it, so 75. Now in this case, it's a bit smaller, so we can actually make it a little bit smaller. Maybe we can make it, 60. 60 looks good. For the button, we select the button, and then what we can do is go into Advanced and select, there should be an option, button width. We select full width, and that's gonna, go to the full width of whatever you set the parameters for the row to be. So we have this. So let's go ahead over here into this one. And instead of saying your email address, right, we're going to say enter your first name here. And we will make this required. Input type, we will say either full name or first name. I think first name is OK. So we're going to say enter your name here. OK, we made it required. Let's go into this email. We will say this one is email address. It is required by default. And your email address here, let's say enter your email here. Okay, so everything looks pretty good to go here, I think. I don't think we're missing anything. Let's maybe increase the space here a little bit. So we're going to drag it a little bit down. That looks pretty good. I would like the button maybe to be a little bit taller. So we're going to look at vertical space here and maybe make it 15. Looks about right. Now over here it says email me the video, so let's go ahead and do that as well. Let's say email me the video. We can increase the size of this text by a little bit. Maybe 26, too much. 24 looks good. Let me just type in 24 manually. You can enter a sub text as well. So if you want to enter, for example, enter your email here, right? That's going to be that subtext. Pretty cool in some cases if you want to tell your clients or people visiting your page what they're going to get. In this case, you can also go to themes and you can select like a predefined button theme. In this case, we're going to leave that as is, but we do want to add an icon. I love icons, so we're going to select icon picker after. You can add an icon before the button as well, and we're going to go over here and let's do arrow right. Okay, let's just say arrow and see what we get. And we get all these buttons. Let's add this one maybe. That looks pretty good. You can go ahead and delete it and add another button, and sometimes it bugs. In this case, it's fine. Yeah, so let's go ahead and add the button again. I just wanted to show you what the delete looked like. And that's pretty much it for that. I'm trying to think if we should change the button color. It is a little bit lighter here, but that's okay. We'll just leave it as is. And that looks pretty good. I think we're good to go. So now let's go ahead and let's add the image here in the background. So we're going to select that section here, and we're going to add the image. We might have to make the this full width so that the image shows up on the entire site here, okay? So we might have to make that one full width, but this one we can go back in and we can adjust the width here again a little bit to make it look the same as it was. There you go, so now 70. And now let's go ahead and select an image. So again, we'll go to settings, let's go to image URL. Now you can add an image that you have. So here I have a bunch of different images. You can search for an image. So ClickFunnels has an integration with Unsplash, Icon Finder, and Pixabay. Or you can just upload an image like we did. So let's see if we can find anything here first. So maybe laptop. Now the thing with this is, with ClickFunnels is once you add an image, you will literally just add the image. There's no kind of white overlay that you can add. Like over here, I believe I've already added a white overlay on top of the image before adding it in, if I recall correctly, in Unbounce. In ClickFunnels, we won't be able to do that. So if we add an image, it's just going to be there. So this image looks pretty cool. So I can double click it, and that's going to upload the image to ClickFunnels. You want to make sure you do that first. Don't just add an image. You want to upload it first, because if the URL changes later on, you don't want the image to disappear. So you want to upload it and keep it in your kind of portfolio here. And then we can click on Add Image. And as you can see, image looks super crappy. So what we have to do is we have to select it, and we have to play around with these options here. So we can do full center parallax. We can do 100% width. We can do no repeat. We can do repeat, right? So in this case, maybe full height and width is not going to look good. 100% height looks okay. Let me see what options we have. Yeah, so this full center parallax probably looks the best, but it is tricky. So what I'm going to do here is, now that you know how to add in images, let me actually just upload this roughly the same image we have here on this page, just so we can actually see what the text is. But what you would be doing is you would go into Photoshop or some third-party app, and you would add an overlay, like add a white color to it, make it reduce the transparency of it, and it's going to add this little white layer, okay? So I'm just going to click upload and add the image, and then I'll see you in a second. All right, so I went ahead and added the same image. It is flipped the other way around, but that's okay. So if we add it here, that looks pretty cool to me. So, you know, you can see everything at least. Maybe we could have added a little more white kind of transparency, but that's okay. So I think so far it all looks exactly as it does here. Now, once again, you know, if you want to add an arrow, there's kind of no way to add it here. You will have to use coding, CSS, but check out my ClickFunnels playlist. I do cover some things you can do with CSS, so if you're interested in that. But now what we have to do is we have to add the next section here, and that is for kind of what you'll learn, right? So in here, we're going to be adding 2 columns. So we have the section here. We're going to click Add New Row, and we're going to select 2 columns. And then we can just copy paste the text here. So we're going to add an element. This one is more of a subheadline. And then we'll add a subheadline here, and then another text right underneath it. So we'll add a subheadline. And then I'm going to right off the bat click on Add New Element, or again, you can click on Add New Row. But what that's going to do is that's going to make it a bit disproportionate now, because then you have a row on top and a separate row on the bottom. And we only need things to be here, right? Like under this one. We don't need anything to be under this column. So instead, what we're going to do is add an element here. And we're going to add, we can either add a bullet list or a paragraph and just add the bullet list there. But let's add bullet list here. You know, it makes it automatically makes it look a little nicer. Then what we're going to do is let's take this, let's copy it, because we have the text ready. In your case, just type it out. We're going to paste it here. And maybe bold it. Okay, so that looks good. Now we do want to add a little more space at the top. So what we're going to do is we're going to select this and add a little bit top margin, drag it to the middle. And if you go into advanced settings, you also have options here. So you can change the line height, you can change the text transform, so make it uppercase, lowercase, okay? So you have all these options, play around with them. I could make a 2-hour-long video covering every single thing here, but hopefully what we cover here is enough for you to have an idea. Now, we do want to change maybe the width of this specific column, right? If we go here and we change the width here, it's going to change the width of the entire row. So we don't want that. We want to change the width of this column. So what we're going to do is we have to go into columns here, and we have to find our column. So our column, you can see here, it's selected in blue. So we're going to find our column right here. We're going to click on that. And then here we can change the width right there. So as you can see, it's being changed a little bit. So we can make it 100. That's maybe a bit too much. Maybe something like this is okay for this page. In this page, it's a bit different. It's a bit more tight here. In this page, for this ClickFunnels page, we added a little extra room. It's just nothing, no difference. I don't know why we did different height, different width here, but it's all the same thing. You can do the same on either page. So we've done that. Let's type in what you learn right here. What you learn, right? And then we have our benefits. So what do we have here? Step-by-step process. Let's quickly copy that. How to create a good landing page, how to properly track ads. So I'm going to paste it, Control V. Let's go back. Oops. There you go. Step-by-step guide. How to create a good landing page. Let's copy this one. How to properly track your ads. And then we'll just type this one out. It's probably faster. How to properly track your ads. And this is like an example of a video that I'll be sending clients, right? So I do have a video on how to promote affiliate products on Google Ads with no disapprovals and high conversion rates. So you can check that video out. Well, the disapprovals, that's on you, right? So make sure you don't do anything sketchy. But that's pretty much it for this, I think. Let me see, maybe bold that a little bit. And that looks fairly good to me, right? I can't see anything of why it doesn't look good. I think that looks pretty good. Now we could center it, it's not gonna look good here. So we're just gonna left align that. Everything else looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and add a new section here. We're gonna add another section here to the bottom. Oh, sorry, I said full width here again. So what we have to do is again, select the section and we have to select the width wide, right? Everything else is wide for us. Although over here, let me see, I'm trying to think. Yeah, this one is, yeah, so we don't have any more images, so we don't have to add full section for any of them because we don't have any more images. But we do have a different color here. So what we might want to do here is make it full page and then add that same color. So our background color here is grayish. So we're going to add gray here. We have to add the transparency here a little bit. And here we're playing around with the color of the background here. So we're just making it a little bit gray, just as we have here, just so you know how to change the color, right? So that's that. So now we're going to do this review. So we're going to add a new row here. We have one column. Maybe let's add another section again. This is what I was talking about. I don't like how we're kind of squished in here. See, you know, we're kind of squished at the bottom. So I'm going to add another section. We have 1, 2, and maybe 2 more sections after that. So let's go ahead and, yeah, we can do full, right? We can do full sections for these, just so that we can change the color for everything. So we can do, and then we can just clone them. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to clone these sections, and now they're going to be available for the rest of the page. And so over here, we're going to be doing 4 out of 5 rating. So I'm going to copy that. Let's go back here. We're going to add a new element, and again, we're going to add one of these. It doesn't matter. You can change the height. Take a look at these other options here as well. We're not using most of them. But if you want a countdown, for example, you can add a countdown, you can add navigation bar, you can add dividers like lines, you can add image list, which is just a bullet list, but you have little images instead of like the check marks. Basic stuff, just drag and drop from this side here. We're going to add a subheadline here. I think that would make sense. We're going to go here, we're going to paste what we had here. And now we want to add a little image, right? Like a little 4 stars, maybe 4.5 stars, right? Before we do that, let's add this text here as well. So we can go in and we can add another column here. Let's add a new element. We're going to add paragraph. Oops. I pasted without, I guess that's fine. Yeah, I guess that's all right. We pasted without any, by accident. Paste as plain text, which is fine. So this is italic, and it is a bit squeezed in. So let's make it italic, and I think bold. And let's go ahead now, and we're going to reduce the width for this as well. So maybe something like that. Okay, now this does look squeezed in. So what we're going to do is we're going to select this. We're going to go into advanced, and for the line height, we can maybe change it a little bit, maybe make it 1.3 or maybe 1.5. And as you can see, just it adds a little bit of space between the text. So that looks good. I'm trying to think why this is still looks different. I think it's because of the text. So let's inspect element. Let's quickly take a look at what we have here. We have 16 open sans. So let's see if we can do that here as well. We're going to select that. This is 16, but it doesn't look like open sans. Let's do open sans right there. That looks about right. So we still have to add an image there. Don't forget, we will do that. So we're going to add another video, and we'll just add my name here. So let's do space, and we'll just say Yvonne. This is like an example testimonial. I never said this anywhere, but just to give you guys an illustration. And then we're going to add another row. Again, adding rows gives you more flexibility, so you want to add rows when you can, but it's definitely easier to just add elements. And we're going to add another button. Okay, and this button we want to scroll back up maybe to the top. So if users sign up, we want to take them to the top. And with this button, maybe we want to increase the width as well. So let's look at vertical space here. Or sorry, that's you haven't saved. No, not yet. Although it is a good practice to save, so let's just go ahead and save it. Good to save our work, and let's say, so this is just the meta description, allows you to add stuff so that you can be found on Google, and this is what it's going to say, right? So make that sound appealing. Not going to spend too much time on that because I was busy somewhere else before I got rudely interrupted. So we can adjust the horizontal space here. Again, we can make it big, but in this case, we probably don't want to make it super large. Now, what we could do is, again, we could reduce the width here. So maybe if we make it 50, maybe a little bit smaller here. So 40 is as small as it goes. We can also reduce that. And now what we could do is we could make this button fit. So we could say full width for the button, and now it's going to look okay. So we're going to have this. Now, I don't like that extra space there. Let's look at this page. Yeah, so that's okay, but maybe we do want to increase the space a bit from the top, so we can drag that. Maybe not too much, maybe just 10 is okay. And then let's suppose we want to, so first of all, let's change this. Let's say, email me the video, yay, right? And let me make that a bit bigger. Go to advanced. We can play around with the corners here, so we can make the corners more circular, like 10 pixels, maybe 15. Okay, so that looks okay. Doesn't look the same as this. We can make it even more rounded corners. Let's see. So yeah, so the next one it goes is 60. So that's like really round, but if that's what we want, that's what we want, just to give you an idea of how this can be done. I think that's pretty much it for that. Let's just add an image here. So I'm going to add an element here, or you can add a row again. In this case, element is okay. So let's look for a 4.5 star image. So we're going to go to, search. Let's go to icon finder, and let's say, 4 stars. Let's see if we can find something. Okay, maybe not what we're looking for. Let's try here. Okay, so nothing there. We might not be able to find anything for free. So what I'm going to do is just go on Google, or we already did that actually. So I already uploaded an image, so I'm just going to upload an image that I already have of 4.5 stars, the same one. What you can do is, if you go to Google and just make sure that the images you take aren't copyrighted. So normally if you go into settings and you select the option that says usable or available for use for anything, for reuse, for sharing and stuff like that, commercial, non-commercial use, all that, select an image like that and paste it here. I already have one from this page, so I'm just going to go ahead and upload it here, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, so I went ahead and I added this image. Let's click on Add Image, and there it is. Looks a bit tiny. So let's select this. We're going to increase the size of it a bit. Now, sometimes there is a limit. So sometimes it doesn't go above a certain threshold, like if you put in, 1,000. Well, in this case it does. But sometimes there is a limit to the image size, so keep that in mind. Okay, make 150. So the quality is not super good here. So let's just keep it at 100. We'll do that. That's fine. We're going to reduce that top margin, make it look like that. And I think that looks good. Let's make it maybe 10. Okay, and that looks pretty much the same as this page. The image is a bit smaller, but that's okay. Find your correct image. That's not the point of this. That's the easy part. But we're done with this part. It looks like everything looks good here. Let's remove the bold. It looks a bit weird here. Looks a bit too bolded, so that's why I kind of wanted to remove it. Maybe do something like that. That looks okay. Okay. So that looks about right. We're almost done. Let's click save. You should save probably as often as possible. We haven't saved for a while, so that's not the best practice. So we have a few more things left. Let's add this column here. So we're going to add a row, and this one's going to be 3 columns, right? So we have 3 columns here. So, and before that, we want to add the title, right? So we're going to add new row. Sorry, let's add new row, and we're going to add a column. And then this one we're going to put on top, so we're going to rearrange it. We're going to put that there. And then we're going to add new elements. So this one's going to be the headline. It's a bit large. Probably subheadline would have been good, but that's all right. And then we'll say, oops, we'll say why this video, for example, right? And then we can make the color the same as that one, just so it stands out a little bit more. So we can go in here. We're going to copy that. I'm going to Control-C for copy on my Windows. I'm going to come back in here, go here and Control-V, and then there, that's the same color. The only thing is, it doesn't look like it's the same color, right? So I guess it didn't transfer the, oh, because it went full out on the transparency for some reason. So we're just going to drag it back to low transparency. And there you go. Now this one seems a bit too big. So we're going to go ahead and reduce that size a little bit. And that looks about right. So now we're going to add the 3 columns with the images and that text, right? So learn everything in 47 minutes or whatever, and we can delete one of these sections. We don't need it. So let's add, we're going to add an image here. And what I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to add the image, and then we're going to just copy the image multiple times. So it's going to be easier for me to do that. So let's go ahead and click search, icon finder, and then here we have a clock. So let's see if we can find a clock with on an icon. So that looks good, right? We can add this. So again, double click it so it uploads. We need a few more images though. Let's add a clock. We have a heart and a bar, like a bar graph. So we can add a heart. So maybe something like this looks good. We'll do search again, and let's see if we can find bar. Oh, perfect. Look at that. Perfect. Exactly what we're looking for. These images are all free. You don't have to, give credit to anyone. So what we're going to do is now we'll select that. We'll click Add Image. Now we have it like this. This is a bit too big. Give it a second to load. Let's maybe make it 50. Oops. So it's lagging a little bit. Give it a second. Okay, so 50 looks okay. See 40, maybe 40 looks a bit better. So now what we're going to do is let's duplicate this. So I'm going to clone this, and then I'm going to drag it over here. And then I'm going to clone this again and drag it over here, right? It's just, it's easier to do now. We don't have to go in and adjust the height for all those. And then we're going to go into images. We're going to select this heart, add image, and boom, it's that same height now. Give it a second to load. After you do that, for some reason, it takes a bit, at least for me now. Give it a second to load, to register, and to be added to the page. Okay, great. Now we'll do the same thing for this last image. We'll add this little bar. And there you go. Give it a second to load. And then that's pretty much it for that. Now we just have to add the text, right? So learn everything. Let's copy this. We're going to add a text element and give it a second to load. Okay. So we can add a new, so in this case, we can add a new row, or we can add a new element. Adding a new row is okay here because we also need all 3 columns. So that's okay to add a row as well. So we can do that. And we can go here. We can select paragraph. And we can just add it here. Just paste it. Maybe we want to make it bigger. Seems a bit small. Okay, so learn everything in just 87 minutes. And as I discussed, right, we can go into columns. And then we can scroll to the bottom, find our column right here. And looks like it's already minimum width, so we can't really adjust the width anymore. Sorry, no, the other way. So we can't adjust the width. And we can make it, we can just kind of squeeze it in a bit. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing for everything else. So we can go ahead and clone this and paste it here. And then we can clone it again and paste it in here. We will have to change the width for all of them to be the same, but let's see first what we have here and how big the actual size is. We don't want to make it look awkward, so we're going to copy that part, come back here, we're going to paste it. Let's remove that extra space. And yeah, this one could use a bit more width adjustment. And let's copy that. And it seems to be lagging a little bit again. We're going to do that and paste it here. That looks good. Yeah, the only thing is maybe adjust the width. So this width was, if we go to columns, we go to the bottom. It doesn't say, I believe that's around 60. I don't know why it's kind of bugged or whatnot. I don't know if that is 70. But we're going to go in and do the same thing for these other columns here. Yeah, looks about right. All right. And then we're going to do the same thing for the last column. Okay, so that doesn't look too good. So maybe we'll make this one 60. Okay, but that looks good. One thing I did forgot to do is actually add the like the button where we want to take people to. And so in this case, so with ClickFunnels, we don't want to go to website, because then what's going to happen is if someone doesn't fill these in, they will still go to the website. So what we want to do here is click on Submit Form, and then we want to go into Settings, click on General, and then over here we want to enter the site. So after somebody enters their name and email, then they will go to this page. And we want to say, for example, let's take them to my site, for example, and then there I will have the video on this topic, and I will have a guide that teaches people how to make money with affiliate marketing and all that good stuff. Okay, so we can do that. And then for this button, we can either take them to the page right away, but we do want to sign up. So what we can do here is, this is a bit of a tricky part. We're going to click on Scroll to Section, and then we select the section we want to scroll to. So give it a second to load. And we want to take them to the very top section of this page, right? So when someone clicks email me the video, we want to take them back to the top. So let's select, let's say this one. I believe that's the very top, scroll sales. So the way you check is you go here, you go into settings, and then you go into CSS info, and then this is going to tell you what that info is. And it's also going to tell you the name, okay? So if you go here, you go to CSS info, the name of this one is actually section, right? So let's see if that matches. So it doesn't look like it matches, but let's play around with it and see if we can find one. So we'll go back to button, sales copy, and opt-in. So section. So there it is. Looks like we have a few of them actually. Capitalization matters. Okay, so make sure you do have lowercase and uppercase and whatnot. I'm just trying to find, I believe this is the very first one at the top. So we can check this later on. We can check it, make sure it works, make sure it takes us to the top, right? So suppose we want to take them here, or if we want to take them here, let's see what this section is. So we'll select that. This one is called sales copy and opt-in. Okay, so maybe we actually do want to take them to the top. So let's go back here, because we want to take them, we want them to see our logo, right? So we do want it to take them back to the very, very top. Give it a second here to load. And then that's almost it. I'm trying to think what I'm missing. Yeah, just maybe the footer at the bottom, and then we can go in and we can test our page and see if it works and all that good stuff. I'll give it a second. There you go. Okay. So that looks good. Let's just add this part here. So I'm just going to flat out copy it. Let's add a new row. Let's add a column here. We're going to add a paragraph. We're going to paste it here. And that is pretty much it. As you can see, we've created our pages. There's not much distinction between this and the other tabs. So maybe let's go in here and maybe let's increase or reduce that transparency here so we can do it. And then over here, this seems a bit, looks like there's a bit too much space there at the top and bottom. So we can remove that, and there you go. Okay. So here we've created this 52.68% conversion rate page in ClickFunnels, and we're pretty much good to go. We've now saved the page. So let's go back and let's actually see what our URL looks like. So let's click on exit, or give it a second to load. Okay, now we can click exit. And I don't want to hit preview because I want to see this actual URL. So you can click preview and it's going to be the exact same, or we can click on this URL here and it's just going to show our URL at the top, which is what I wanted to see. And then boom, right? We have this page, and let's see if we click here. Boom, we're taken to the top. Perfect. And that's pretty much it. We've created a page that looks just like this. I don't think we missed anything. So awesome, congratulations. If you want to know how to change your domain so it doesn't look like this, right? Check out my videos. I have a bunch of videos on that stuff, on whatever you need to with ClickFunnels. So if you type in, for example, domain, ClickFunnels, Yvonne Manna. How to set up your custom domain. If you want to know how to do how to add a favicon, just type in favicon. I have a bunch of videos on all of these various topics. So pretty much whatever you want to look at, I have a video on. If you type in ClickFunnels Yvonne Manna playlist, I have, looks like somebody else made a playlist on me. I do have a playlist. That looks like it's pretty much it. So it's about 40 plus videos now, including this one. Probably even more, because this one is by Jerry Standard. So this one's, I didn't even do that playlist. Okay, but I'll add the playlist in the description below. Check it out. But I have a bunch of, all these different videos you can add: click pops, landing pages, thank you pages, sales funnel, blog, membership site, all of that you can quickly and easily create with ClickFunnels. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the description below if you want me to create a different landing page, or if there's a certain site you want me to mimic and you're wondering what it would look like in ClickFunnels or Unbounce or whatnot. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.